Hello, my name is Brittany Barassa. I am presenting the characteristics of children with sensory impairment, and I chose to do hearing and hard of hearing impairments because my grandfather has a hearing impairment and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. My youngest daughter also used sign language at a very young age before she even started talking. I have also noticed an increase of children who are coming in with hearing impairments within my daycare. And I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it so that I can help them better. This is a table of contents of the things that I will be covering in my presentation here. Okay, so the deaf and hearing impairments of preschool children. This is particularly for children between 30 and 36 months. These children are beginning to develop the following characteristics. Grouping objects, identifying their colors, using most speech sounds. They may sound a little funny, but they're learning still. Using consonants at the beginning, middle, and end of words. Strangers are able to understand them. It's a little bit different when it's your own child. You can understand what they're saying, but other children who you may not be familiar with, you should be able to understand what they are saying at this age. They are able to describe objects such as a fork or what a car is. And they have fun with language. They enjoy poems. They don't have really many language obscurities. They love to sing poems and sing songs. So deaf and hard of hearing challenges for young children and knowing what to expect helps one identify what may have a hearing impairment. And this is why children need to hear language to be able to learn language. Sounds help produce accurate speech sounds. When you are actively showing them how to say these things, they are learning. Communication and involvement with other children is vital at this age to learning and to speaking. Sharing with others, asking questions and dialoguing. All of the above interactions help children to learn and develop those so important cognitive skills. And being aware of expected characteristics help identify potential hearing problems. So some of the warning signs to look for in your classroom for children who may be hard of hearing and may be having a little bit of trouble. An infant doesn't have a startle response. They do check this right after birth. They take your child and they go and they do a hearing test. They are able to accurately tell you if your child passes or not at such a young age. And then doing follow-up as they get older is just so important because you never know. Sometimes your child can be great and then one day all of a sudden they're having a little bit hard of hearing. I have seen it happen a few times with children in my daycare, and those parents have taken steps to ensure that their child has the best opportunities and that they are able to continue to learn and have that hearing device so that they can engage with other children. They don't localize sounds. Frequent ear infections are a big indicator that this is happening. Discharge from the ear sometimes comes with ear infections as well. Pulling or poking at their ears. And the earlier that you intervene and the earlier that you get your children checked out, the better for your child's development. If you wait and you don't get them checked out and they're having problems, it can cause lots of delays for these children, and you don't want that for your child. So it's just so important to make sure that you are getting your child checked out every year just to make sure that everything's still okay. So the developmental effects and the path to communication. Hearing loss affects communication. So if they can't hear you, how are they going to effectively communicate their needs to you? They are unable to practice receptive skills if they're having trouble. They're unable to clarify their understanding. Not able to express using language skills. They need to be able to hear or sign so they can express to you what they are needing. Unable to interact, share, solve problems, and ask questions. They need to be able to do that, whether that be verbally or through sign language. It impacts their thinking skills. And continued delays impact development. So not getting your child checked out and just kind of putting it off like, oh, this will fix itself. Oh, it's just selective hearing can lead to developmental delays in children, and we don't want that. We want our children to be the best that they can be and have all the resources they need, whether that be a hearing device, learning sign language to help them out. And the solutions that we can do: sign language. I encourage all educators to learn at least some sign language. You don't have to learn a lot of it, maybe just simple signs so that you know how to help these children, but with the growing amount of children that are coming into our centers with hearing impairments, it is important to be at least a little bit understanding of American Sign Language, just in case this was to happen, so you can help them. Amplification devices, so hearing aids or FM amplification systems to use with hearing devices, as well as taking cautions, so having proper training on how to use these things and how to set them up, and just remembering sign language is not universal. It can be different in other languages than it is for ours. Someone that comes from a different country, it may be a little bit different for them than it is for us, so just taking that into consideration. So things you can do working alongside children with a hearing impairment in your classroom are talking in a normal, clear voice using gestures. Face the light when you are talking to a child. They're not going to be able to see you if you're in the dark. They're not going to be able to see what you're saying. Touch or tap their hand or shoulder to gain attention. Just a light little tap on the shoulder if they're not noticing you when you're talking to them. Using brief, complete sentences. Just get your point straight across for them, so you're not overwhelming them with a bunch of words when you're trying to get to the point. So instead of saying something like, oh, can you please go get this because we're going to do this? Can you please go get some paper, please? We are going to do an activity today. Have a consistent schedule. I know some places aren't able to do this. The daycare I work at, we are technically not allowed to have schedules set in stone for the children. That's just my center's way of doing things, but we try to do them inconspicuously, and it is important to have a schedule so that the children understand what they are expected to do next. Taking opportunities to learn. So multicultural classroom means more than just one sign language may be in play. I have posted a video here for you. It's on YouTube. I would really, really encourage you to watch it. It's about American Sign Language and the importance of it. Here is just a small quote from this. Sign language is a form of communication that has been used by the deaf for centuries. It is a visual language that uses a combination of hand gestures, facial expressions, and body language to convey meaning. However, there is still some debate about whether sign language is universal or specific or to certain languages. So that debate is saying that they are not sure if sign language is universal across the board. So it may be different for someone from a different culture than it is for someone who was raised in Canada. I've reviewed the information provided on this website. It is ASHA. It is almost a one-stop shop for destination for all things regarding hearing loss in children. You can select the active link at the top of the page, or you can go to the website and look at it for yourself, but I strongly encourage that you go look at it, especially if you have children who are hard of hearing in your classroom. And even if you don't, it's always good to see these things and have them available. So this is what one of my youngest children has taught me about sign language. She was signing before she was talking. We watched Miss Rachel. If you don't know who Miss Rachel is, she is phenomenal. She is an early childhood educator who was making videos for her own son who was having issues with language and speech, but she also covers American Sign Language in a lot of her videos. My daughter picked a lot of these up while she was watching Miss Rachel, and I picked some of it up while I was watching Miss Rachel. So we learned lots of signs like hungry, milk, more, thank you, and please. I got her to do a few of those for me, so we're going to have a look at those.
Hungry. Hungry.
So she's doing hungry here.
Hungry. Hungry. Hungry.
Milk.
Milk. Milk. Milk. Milk. More.
This is more.
More. More. More.
And
Thank you.
thank you.
More. More. Thank you.
So those are just some signs that she learned watching Miss Rachel that have helped her communicate a little bit better. So my classroom process, things that I am actively doing in my classroom for those children who may have hard of hearing. Using clearly and using complete sentences. Making sure that hearing impaired children can see you clearly. So I'm not talking to them like this, I'm talking to them like this. Studying and recording the signs for different children. So I am actively working on learning sign language in my classroom. I know some sign language. I'm not great at it yet, but I am getting there. I'm learning simple signs to help my children in my classroom. Watching for signs that could indicate potential hearing problems. Just watching, observing, letting the parents know what you're seeing if you're noticing something with their child, and just letting them know, like, hey, I noticed this about your child. Maybe you should check that out. Or I have some resources for you if you'd like to check them out. I make sure that hearing aid equipment is in good order. I would like to learn how to properly set it up, know how to use it. Communication with parents about that is so important. That way we know what we're doing. Remaining calm and consistent. Looking for opportunities to improve their learning, and never stop finding out more about how to help hearing impaired children, and learning constantly to help them better. Here are some lists of references that I used in my slideshow for you. Thank you so much for learning about hearing impairments with me. You can reach out if you have any information that you think I should add, or if you would like to know more about hearing impairments, I would be happy to help. Thank you so much.